I think it's really exciting to be a part of the revitalization of Negaunee, because like the downtown area, like back in the iron ore mining heyday, like Negaunee was hip hop happening, and now it's like I feel like it's kind of our time to have a renaissance.
Born in Negaunee, Chef Rachel Grossman discovered a love of cooking from her family.
I actually grew up cooking in my grandmother's kitchen just up the street on Main Street. So I used to go to her house once a week after school. I would walk there and we would cook together. And she was really inspired by French food. So she was the opposite of me in a way, because everything was like perfectly done. So like I'm inspired by the Italian way of cooking, which is like taking ingredients, making them look and taste like what they are by doing like very little to them.
After attending culinary school in LA and then Le Cordon Bleu, Grossman embraced an internship opportunity in Italy.
And I was working in this tiny little village, this like walled-in medieval town, you know, like on a hilltop. And I was working at an agriturismo, and so an agriturismo is like it's a working farm and restaurant. So like by law in Italy, I think 80% of everything you serve has to be like farmed and, you know, either grown on site, down to like the olive oil, the grapes for the wine. Like they had their own chickens there.
With an appreciation and treatment of humble ingredients, Grossman found herself back stateside.
It's like the way that the Italians eat and dine and share hospitality. It's like so generous, and so it's just really beautiful. It's unhurried. So that's kind of like what I'm trying to do here, and what I've been doing for the past 15 years out in Oregon is like kind of trying to take the Italian experiences that I've had and like share them here.
And the name Strega Nonna, or Grandmother Witch, comes from Grossman's love for feeding others and sharing the magic that comes from cooking.
So like just Nonna for a space this big seemed like too stuffy, too stodgy, and like we're definitely not trying to be that. We're not trying to be pretentious. We're not trying to be fancy here. Like a lot of people are thinking Strega Nonna's fancy, but it's actually like supposed to be really inviting, really warm, really hospitable. I feel like Strega Nonna is just full of magic, and cooking is full of magic, and it's just, you know, I feel like there's something about like cooking and kind of feeling the food and having that magic touch. It's not really about like following a recipe. It's about kind of the magic touch, you know?
You can sit down for a drink or a single plate. To fully understand Grossman's vision, she suggests trying the Strega experience.
So basically, you come to Strega Nonna. If you have time and you want the full experience, then we ask, what are your dietary restrictions? And then we kind of just improvise. We play grandma, you play family, and we just cook for you. So on a nightly basis, usually that's a 4-course dinner. And so usually that includes an array of appetizers. So antipasti spreading from like cured vegetables to maybe some cheeses or some cured meats or a little bit of all of the above. And then we move into a couple different pasta courses. We always feature one of our homemade pasta courses. And then usually something that's kind of more seasonally inspired. So maybe like now we're doing maybe a butternut squash dish, or we're doing more with meats now that it's winter and there's not like fresh vegetables everywhere. And then finally the meat course, which, is like the secondo, so that's served with a couple different side dishes and, our featured meat of the night. Or of course, if there was like a vegetarian at the table, they would get something a little bit different.
With different tastes and food made in limited quantities, your experience could be different from the table next to you.
I wish I could say that I had a favorite, but like if I did favorites, my dinners wouldn't be, 5 to 12 courses. You know what I mean? So, I do feel like my favorite thing that we do here is our regional dinners. So usually once a month we feature just one region of Italy for the whole weekend, and those are a little bit more of a set menu, less than an improvised menu. I'm really inspired by Italy. Some of my staff is, they have their own stories to tell. So I do also try to I really wanted to, with Strega Nonna, create more of a collaborative kitchen and more of like a place where, the staff could also play in the kitchen and I could also kind of share their stories.
With your Restaurant of the Week in Negaunee, Ben Raymond, Local 3 News.